Hi everyone, this is Maria with the Bead Club. I'm going to be doing a remake, really, of my earrings I had posted before using Tila beads. Okay, today's project, as I said, is a remake of the earring. I'm going to be using my matte metallic copper Tila beads. You're going to need 6 of them for one earring. And I'm also going to be mixing them with my Japanese seed beads in a matte black AB. And for these, you don't need a ton of seed beads for this particular project either. Okay, and I have a size 10 needle, beading needle, threaded with very small piece of thread. You don't need a ton of thread for this project. It is just an earring. And obviously you're going to need an ear wire hook or some or other type of earring finding, which I didn't seem to take out. Well, I'll get that later. And we can get started. Okay, to start this project, we're going to need to pick up our Tila bead, go through one hole, and then followed by an 11-0. And we're just going to alternate the Tilas and the 11-0s until you have all 6 of them on your, all 6 Tilas on your beading needle. And some people say Tilas, some people say Tilas. It's really tomato to me. It doesn't really matter how you pronounce them. And obviously you'd be finishing this off with a seed bead. So this is what you're going to have. Let me just lay it down so you can see it better. You're going to have a Tila seed bead until you have 6 Tilas with with a seed bead between each of them. And I started with the Tila, so I need to end with a seed bead. So when I tie my beads in a circle, like I'm going to do now, we're going to have that seed bead in between our Tilas. And very carefully make sure that my thread loops exactly where I want it to go. I'm just going to flip my beads over so you can see what we have. And that's what we have so far. So now, I'm going to pick my work up. I'm going to take my needle back through all of those beads again, just to really secure my work a bit and reinforce it and add another layer of strength to it. So I'm going to work my way all the way back through my earring here until I get back to where am I coming out of? Okay. Until I get back to my knot, which is right about here, where my tail thread is. And I'm just going to go past my knot and just come out of my next Tila. There you go. Your thread is now exiting this first hole here of this Tila bead. It's coming out that way. And I want it to come out of the second hole now, so I'm going to kind of reverse and go back in the opposite direction through that top hole of my Tila bead. And you can see, you don't really see that thread on there. Now we're going to pick up 3 of our 11-0 seed beads. 3. And we're going to stitch through, get my tail out of my way here. We're going to stitch through the next top hole of the Tila bead in line, the next one in line. And just turn it around as we go and pick up another 3. That one's a little wonky, I'm not going to pick that up. And we're just going to continue on, sew through our next Tila. And just repeat that all the way around. There you go. And that's what you have at this point in time If you really did want to, you could sew back through all of those beads again that you just added, again for another layer of security. I'm not going to. It's not a must, it's just an option. So from here, my thread is now exiting that second hole of the Tila bead there, and I want it to be exiting my seed bead. So I'm going to sew forward through just one seed bead after that Tila there. Pull it out of there. And we're going to pick up another 3 11-0 seed beads. And we're going to go through, we're going to skip one seed bead, the next seed bead there, that middle one, and we're going to go through that third seed bead in line, our Tila, and really I want to be coming out of the very next seed bead after the Tila as well. So ignore my tail thread there, hope it's not confusing you. Right, so I've skipped that middle seed bead. My thread is exiting this first one. I've skipped the next one. I've taken my needle through the third one, through the Tila, and through the first seed bead on the other side of my Tila. And when you pull your thread through, you're going to have a nice little point on the end there. And we're going to repeat that. So we're going to pick up another 3 11-0 seed beads, skip the very middle seed bead after the one your thread is exiting, take your needle through the third seed bead, the Tila, and that first seed bead on the next side of your Tila, and pull. You may have to position your beads a bit. Let's give the thread a nice good yank, and those will fall into place. And again, we're going to pick up 3 of our seed beads, and we're going to go through the seed bead on either side of the next Tila in line. So now my thread is exiting my very last sequence of seed beads I need to add this little point to. So I'm going to go through, as I've been doing all along, that third seed bead, the Tila, and the one right next to the Tila. And give your beads a nice tight pull, and that will just shift everything into place, because you may have had a little space in between the beads up until then, but mine just kind of just fell into place. And we're going to add a loop for our earring hook. I'm just going to pause and go get an earring hook, and I'll be right back. Alright, I have my earring hook, and I'm using a lever back hook that you can also get from our store. Now to add that earring hook, my thread is exiting this seed bead right here, and we want it to exit the seed bead at the top of our little point here. So I'm just going to sew forward 2 beads. So 1 and 2. And just pull that through. And now I'm going to add just a little loop of seed beads so that our earring can attach to that, our earring hook can attach to that. So I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s, my earring hook. I'm going to go back down that last seed bead that I added and just pull it nice and tight. And now I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-0 seed beads, and I'm going to go through that center bead. Let me slacken up my beads a bit so you can see better what I'm doing. My thread is exiting my center bead there on this side, and I want to take my needle back around the opposite side to add those 2 beads I just picked up. And when you pull it tight, you get this nice little kind of triangular shape going on there. I'm going to take my needle back through all those beads again and my earring hook to reinforce it. And of course you can add a jump ring here as well. I didn't because I'm really just doing this for demonstration purposes, but you can feel free to add an to add a jump ring just so that your earring can have maybe a little bit more freedom to it. It can swing a little bit more on your ear. Now I'm going to take my needle back through that center bead, trying not to get it caught on your hook, and then down through the 2 beads on the other side, and back through that center bead again. And give it a nice tight pull, and that will make all your beads fall into place. Oops. Shoo. Okay, so from here we're just going to tie our thread off, and you really didn't need a whole lot of thread for this, so it's a really great project if you just have a few Tila beads left over. You really just need 12 to make the pair of earrings, and very few seed beads. I mean, come on, you can see you can make that with any ends of seed beads you have laying around left over from previous projects. It really doesn't take much. All right, and so I've just sewn forward through the 2 seed beads following that center bead there. And really at this point you're just going to make some half hitch knots. Alright, and I am just going to burn my threads off now with my thread zap. We also have these available for sale at the Bead Club. They're very handy, especially if you're like me and you love the bead weaving with your fire lane or whatever beading thread. It just allows you to get so close to your work and avoid all those ugly tails that using scissors can leave. So I hope you enjoyed this remake of our hexagon earring tutorial, and I will have some more videos coming very soon, so keep posted, stay tuned, keep following, keep watching. Please click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and enjoy. Have a great time beading. Bye bye.